You wake up, and before your feet even touch the floor, you already feel exhausted. It's not just physical tiredness. It's a heaviness in your chest, a fog in your mind, and a quiet voice whispering, "I don't know how much longer I can keep this up." If that sounds familiar, you might be emotionally burnt out. Burnout doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, silently, like a fire smoldering beneath the surface. And by the time you realize it, you're already caught in the flames. Today, I want to take you through 5 powerful signs that you're emotionally burnt out, and most importantly, how to reverse it before it consumes you completely. The first sign is emotional numbness. Imagine once caring deeply about your work, your relationships, your passions. But now, you feel nothing. You smile when you're supposed to, you nod when people talk, but inside, it's like the volume of life has been turned down. You're not angry, not joyful, not even sad. Just empty. Emotional numbness is the mind's desperate attempt to shield itself from constant stress. It's like shutting down parts of your heart to avoid more pain. But here's the truth. Numbness doesn't protect you, it starves you. You can't heal when you're disconnected from your feelings. So, how do you reverse it? The first step is awareness. Allow yourself to notice the numbness instead of pretending everything is fine. Then, start small. Write down one thing each day that stirs even the faintest emotion in you, a song, a memory, a kind word. Over time, you begin to rebuild the bridge between yourself and your emotions. The second sign is irritability at the smallest things. The sound of someone chewing too loudly, a message left unanswered, a minor mistake at work. Things that once seemed trivial now feel unbearable, and you snap before you even realize it. This is because emotional burnout strips away your capacity to regulate stress. Your nervous system is in constant fight or flight mode, so even the tiniest spark sets off an explosion. And it's not really about the chewing or the message or the mistake. It's about the weight you've been carrying for far too long, with no space to release it. To reverse this, you need to give your nervous system permission to reset. Deep breathing sounds cliché, but science shows it signals to the brain that you're safe. Try this. Inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold again for 4. Do it 3 times. In just 2 minutes, you're telling your body, "It's okay, I can calm down." You're not weak for needing this. You're human. The third sign is withdrawal. You stop answering texts, you cancel plans, and the thought of social interaction feels overwhelming. It's not that you don't care about people anymore. You simply don't have the energy to show up. You tell yourself, "I'll call them when I feel better." But days turn into weeks, and isolation becomes your new normal. Withdrawal is dangerous because it deepens burnout. The less you connect, the more disconnected you feel, and the cycle feeds itself. So how do you break it? Start with one meaningful connection a week. Not a big party, not a draining meeting, just one safe person. Someone who listens without judgment. Maybe you can send a voice message instead of a call. Maybe you just sit in silence together. Remember, healing doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in connection, even if it's just a single thread holding you to the world. The fourth sign is the loss of motivation. You once had dreams, goals, and projects that lit you up. Now, even the simplest task feels impossible. You procrastinate, not out of laziness, but out of sheer emotional exhaustion. And then you beat yourself up for not doing enough, which only deepens the burnout. Motivation thrives when the heart feels alive, but burnout suffocates that fire. To reverse this, stop asking yourself, What should I do today? And start asking, what is the smallest step I can take right now? Instead of writing the whole report, open the document. Instead of cleaning the house, wash one dish. Small victories rebuild trust in yourself. They remind you that you're capable, even when you feel broken. Motivation doesn't return all at once. It returns like a spark, and you must protect that spark until it grows into a flame again. The fifth sign is physical exhaustion that no amount of sleep can cure. You rest, yet you wake up tired. Your body aches, your head feels heavy, and even breathing feels like work. This is your body waving a red flag, saying, I cannot carry this much stress any longer. Emotional burnout manifests physically because the mind and body are inseparable. Ignoring this sign can lead to serious health issues, high blood pressure, weakened immunity, and chronic fatigue. To reverse it, you need to prioritize rest in a deeper sense. Rest isn't just sleep. It's silence. It's saying no. It's permitting yourself to step away without guilt. Take 10 minutes each day to simply be no screens, no work, no distractions. At first, you'll feel restless. But over time, this pause becomes medicine for your soul. These 5 signs, numbness, irritability, withdrawal, loss of motivation, and exhaustion, are not weaknesses. They are signals. They are your inner compass pointing you toward healing. Burnout is not a life sentence. It is a state, and like any state, it can be shifted, reversed, and transformed. But the first step is noticing it within yourself and admitting, I can't keep living like this. Because the moment you admit it, you create space for change. But now the question is, how do we reverse emotional burnout? If it feels like you're stuck in a pit with no ladder, you need to know there is a way out. Emotional burnout is not permanent. Your nervous system, your mind, and your body all can heal. The secret lies not in doing more, but in doing less with more presence. So let's explore the path of recovery, step by step. The first step is reclaiming rest. Not just sleep, but real rest. Burnout doesn't just come from lack of sleep. It comes from lack of deep restoration. You can sleep for 8 hours and still wake up exhausted if your mind is racing all night. True rest is found in moments of stillness, disconnection, and permitting yourself to simply exist without performance. That might mean turning off your phone for a few hours. It might mean lying on the floor and listening to music without guilt. It might mean journaling your feelings or walking slowly in nature with no destination. Rest isn't lazy. Rest is fuel. Without it, you're burning a candle at both ends, and eventually the light goes out. The second step is boundaries. Many people who face emotional burnout are people who struggle with saying no. They carry the weight of other people's expectations on their shoulders until it crushes them. Ask yourself, how many times have you agreed to something you didn't want to do just to avoid disappointing someone? Each of those moments is a small betrayal of yourself, and betrayal builds into exhaustion. Reversing burnout requires courage. The courage to say no, the courage to prioritize your well-being, the courage to let others carry their burdens instead of carrying everything for them. Boundaries are not walls that push people away. They are doors that protect your inner sanctuary. The third step is reconnecting with meaning. Burnout thrives in a vacuum of purpose. When your daily actions feel disconnected from your deeper values, your spirit begins to decay. You could be working hard, achieving things, ticking boxes, but if none of it feels aligned with who you truly are, it will eventually hollow you out. Ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? What does this effort serve? Does it bring me closer to the life I want? Or is it pulling me further away? Sometimes the cure for burnout isn't to stop working. It's to shift the focus of your work towards something that matters to you. Even the smallest adjustment, redirecting an hour of your day towards something meaningful, can begin to reignite the inner flame. The fourth step is expression. Unexpressed emotions are one of the biggest hidden causes of burnout. When you swallow your anger, silence your sadness, or hide your fear, those emotions don't disappear. They ferment inside you, creating pressure that eventually turns into exhaustion. Expression doesn't always mean talking. It could be writing in a journal, painting, singing, dancing, or even allowing yourself to cry without shame. Expression is release. Release is freedom. When you let what's inside of you flow outward, you create space within for renewal. The fifth step is reconnection with people who nourish you. Isolation is both a symptom and a cause of burnout. When you're drained, you tend to pull away from others, but this only deepens the cycle. We are social beings, wired for connection. Healing often requires safe spaces where you can be vulnerable without judgment, where someone can remind you that you are not alone in this struggle. It might be a close friend, a family member, a therapist, or even a support group. The key is not the number of connections, but the quality. Even one genuine connection can make the difference between despair and hope. And here is a truth that might surprise you. Sometimes, burnout is not just a curse, but a teacher. Burnout forces you to confront the fact that the way you are living is unsustainable. It reveals where you have been ignoring your own needs, where you have been chasing illusions of success at the cost of your inner peace. In that sense, burnout is a painful but powerful signal. It tells you that something needs to change. And if you listen, if you truly honor that signal, you can rebuild your life stronger, wiser, and more aligned than before. So, reversing burnout is not about pushing harder. It's about listening deeper. Listening to your body when it whispers instead of waiting until it screams. Listening to your emotions when they rise instead of burying them. Listening to your heart when it aches instead of silencing it with distractions. When you begin listening, you begin healing. Imagine this. You are standing at the edge of a river, carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents overwork, unspoken pain, unmet expectations, and self-neglect. For years, you have carried it, your back bending under the weight. Burnout is the moment when you realize you cannot carry it anymore. But instead of collapsing, you decide to put the backpack down. One by one, you take out the stones. You place them on the ground. You breathe lighter with each release. And eventually, you cross the river, not with the crushing weight of the stones, but with freedom in your step. This is the gift hidden within burnout, the opportunity to put down what no longer serves you, the opportunity to learn self-respect, the opportunity to find balance, to rediscover joy in small things, to realign with what truly matters. Burnout doesn't have to be the end. It can be the beginning. Now, I want to ask you, have you ever experienced emotional burnout? What signs did you notice in yourself? And more importantly, what helped you to heal? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your story may be the very thing that helps someone else climb out of the pit. Remember this, your worth is not defined by how much you endure. Your value is not measured by how productive you are. You are worthy of rest, worthy of care, worthy of peace. Never let a society obsessed with speed convince you otherwise. Slow down, breathe, and take your life back piece by piece. If this message resonates with you, Let it be a turning point. Choose today to begin honoring your needs. Choose to draw boundaries. Choose to rest without guilt. Choose to seek meaning in what you do. Because when you do, you don't just heal burnout, you transform it into strength. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found these insights meaningful, please give this video a like, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe to the channel for more content on psychology, healing, and emotional growth. Your support helps us grow this community of people who are learning, step by step, to live with more balance, peace, and self-awareness. You are not alone. You are not broken. And you are not powerless. Healing is possible, and it begins the moment you decide to value yourself enough to rest, to breathe, and to begin again.